Hello, everybody. Everything is fuzzy. Well, I don't know if that's you hanging out in the chat already, Scarlet Fury. So I guess I must ask, am I fuzzy? And if so... I don't know where I was going with that. I started a bit and I was like, Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear? Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair? Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Flash Zellow Fiction Done Fast, the show where I take a bunch of writing prompts from my friends and the chat. At this, oh, there's suddenly 4 people in the chat. Oh, God. Oh, not in the chat. 4 viewers. It's me. No, not you. The pain med's making me feel fuzzy. Oh, no. I swear to God, just a second ago, I was like, I've just got one person viewing, and it's probably just Scarlet Fury, and she's on fucking pain meds, so I can just be weird. And then suddenly there's 4 viewers. I'm like, oh, no. They're gonna judge me. I'm being weird on the internet. Oh, man, it's getting dark. My fiance's work schedule got shifted around, so now she works evenings, and normally the time where I was streaming, which was like 3 o'clock, is now right when she's getting ready to go to work. But then I'm always just too tired to immediately hop into streaming when I get home, so it keeps getting pushed later and later. Because I'm lazy. Well, how y'all doing? Scarlet Fury's in agony. Fuck, actually, it's been so long since I saw Into the Woods, I actually have forgotten the rest of the tune. But so, Scarlet Fury, I've actually forgotten what, I mean, if you're comfortable, you don't have to say, but what was your surgery? Anything exciting? I have fucked this desk, man. I didn't fuck the desk. I have messed up the desk, though. It's so, like, chipped and shit. Anyways. I got a tubal ligation. Oh. A tubal ligation, you say? That's, Oh. Gotcha. Okay. There you go. Okay. You know, my mom, she got her tubes tied. Dad still got pregnant afterward. Isn't that was a fun day at the hospital? Oh, fuck. Something also happened to my sister. My sister had 2 kids, and she was like, okay, I'm done. I had 2 kids. That's more than enough. Got a boy and a girl. And she scheduled, and she had scheduled getting her tubes tied. A week before she was set to get her tubes tied, she found out she was pregnant with twins. And everyone else in the family was real fucking excited. We were like, yeah, twins! Because my sister is a twin. Mom has a twin, so this was 3rd generation twins. And Karen and Corinne, Monica and Mercedes, and Lucy and Layla. So, my mom found out she was pregnant with me when she went to get back on the pill. I don't know what the story was about my parents finding out that they were having a kid. They were already separated and hated each other. Anyways. Actually, sorry. I do this. It's something I kind of take for granted in my real life. The story about mom getting her tubes tied. That's my adopted mom. And the story about my parents getting a divorce before I was born is my biological parents. And so, I should specify that sometimes without really thinking about it, I just kind of switch back and forth. Because in my head, it makes sense. And most of my friends, I don't know how they know this, but they can kind of just, I don't know if it's context clues or like the way I refer to them. I'm like, oh yeah, my parents. But then I say, my parents. And people are like, oh, he's talking about the lol. And I knew what you were talking about. Yeah, so Scarlet Fury's known me since I was, 17 years old. So like, would you believe that, Scarlet Fury? You've actually known me. That was 1 year after I got. Because I got kicked out. I got adopted when I was 16. So we met when I was 7. Yeah, when I was 17. So like, it's weird because in my head there was this big gap of time between when I met you and Dune Harper and when I got, became the residential hobo kid. And then I look back on it now, I'm like, yeah, that was like a year and a half, maybe, Because what I got adopted in May of 2008, and I met you in like November of 2009. So yeah, no, it's just that's such a weird thing in my head to be like, I again, to repeat myself, that felt like such a big gap of time. And then looking back on it, I'm like, that was a couple months at most. I've been floating around my college town now for almost a decade. Oh god, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. I was supposed to get out. I was gonna be gone by now, but there was a fucking pandemic. I was gonna get married in October, and we were gonna use the fucking, like, if not out, we were gonna have a plan in place to get out. We were going to use our honeymoon to scope out places to move to. And then the fucking world collapsed and everything had to be postponed and it's fine. Come here. You would fit in Boulder. Would you consider relocating to a more metropolitan urban environment? Because that's definitely more where Cassie and I have eyes set. What is the population of Boulder, Colorado? Wow. I mean, Boulder's not. It's a Denver, a city, but feels small. I just don't really. I've never really wanted to go to Colorado, to be completely honest. I spent a little bit. I did spend a little bit of time in Colorado Springs. Very little bit of time in Colorado Springs, and it was fine. But, like, we've looked at Salt Lake because that's just the simplest, closest place that has, like, a network of friends in the area. We've looked at Chicago because a bunch of alumni from the school have gone up there and have had success in theater in that area. We also kind of wanted to look at Seattle area. So, all places that are tough sells right now. But the springs are different. Every city in Colorado is so different. It's weird. Like Boulder City versus Las Vegas, different. See, there's a part of me that's almost like, guess Vegas and Boulder are different. I mean, BCHS was definitely just shouldn't be part of the Clark County School District. I don't know what it should be, but like it barely fits. But like because I spent so much time just hanging out with the drug kids, I'm like, is it really that different? Like we were all just drinking and smoking, and then the other kids were smoking the other things, and then out came the needles, and then Shane went home. So, yeah. So many hard drugs in Boulder City. I was like, that kid has a better GPA than I do, and he's sneaking off to the bathroom to smoke heroin. What the fuck? That motherfucker had a 4.0. Anyways. You and I knew very different Boulder cities. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that. I was on a first name basis with most of the kids in town who were selling drugs. Oh yeah, that's so and so, and that's so and so, and that's so and so. Do you want some? No, not really. I'm good. One time, a buddy was picking up some drugs, and I just was tagging along because I wanted lunch, because Scarlet Fury, you know how far teenage Shane would be like, yeah, alright, let's go to Mordor and back. If I can get a fucking Burger King number 2 combo, no cheese, medium sized, with a Dr. Pepper. Actually, back then I think I was still drinking Sprite. That's not the point of the story. Point is, we show up at this drug dealer's house, and my friend knocks on the door, and this kid opens the door. I swear this kid looked 17, and he just was like, hey guys, and he gives my friend a hug, and then he gives me a hug, and I'm like, I don't know you, dude. I've never met you before in my life, but alright. And then he invited us inside to watch cartoons. I was like, okay. This is happening. Also, aren't drug dealers supposed to not sample their own merchandise? It was a mess. But also, he was rich enough to buy himself a house as a teenager, so it was like, maybe I can't endorse this, but like, he owned a house just selling drugs, and I live in a shitty, crappy little apartment with a college degree. Oh man, the existential dread. The existential dread just set in. It's like, I did things the right way, where I went to college and I got a job, and I live in a crappy apartment. Meanwhile, the drug dealer Huggy Kid with a fucking bowl cut. You remember Coconut Head from Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide? Yes, this is a fucking reference. I'm pulling Ned's Declassified out in 2021. That kid, he looked like Coconut Head. Owned a fucking house that he paid for with his own money. Misbegotten money, illegal. I mean, yeah. But like, what the fuck? I also knew a kid who got arrested by Homeland Security for transporting many pounds of marijuana through FedEx. Anyways, growing up in Vegas is wild because all this shit. Okay, apparently the corner of Vegas I was on was wild because Scarlet Fury here didn't know any of this shit was happening. It just takes time. I bought my first horse 2 years ago, and now I'm starting to get a profit. But it'll be many more years before I have made more money than I've put in. Yeah, but here's the thing. I also have another friend who was like, shit, I can't pay for my tuition this semester. I'm going to sell drugs. And after 2 weeks, he had enough to pay his tuition, and he just retired from selling drugs. So, like, how weird is that, though? That there are people out there who are just like, yeah, if I do this for, like, again, it was 2 weeks. He covered his tuition. The hell? And again, I am going to specify, I did not partake. I didn't partake. I wasn't doing any of this shit. I sell plasma to pay for tuition. Some sell drugs, others sell their body. Not in a pimpy way. Story. But also, I'm going to say, no endorsement. Don't fucking do drugs. Drugs are bad, kids. Like, shit's not worth it. I also knew a girl who was paying her tuition by, she was working at a strip club in Vegas on the weekends. So she would, like, schedule her classes so that she had them in, like, 3-4 day blocks, and then she would drive down to Vegas, work at the strip club, and then drive back. Fun story about that. Here's the story. I get a message from her friend. They drove down together, the two of them, and she was like, hey, you've got friends and family in Vegas. Do you think you could get us a place to stay for the night? And I was like, yeah, sure. What are you doing in Vegas? And they were like, oh, we're going to an audition in the morning. I was like, oh, rock on. Cool. Didn't think much of it. So I hit up my brothers, and I was just like, hey, I got some friends coming through town for an audition. You think they could crash on your couch for the night? And they were like, yeah, sure, whatever. I did not know that they were auditioning for a strip club until I get a message from my brother's girlfriend going, you sent strippers to his house? I was like, what? I did what? So, in a weird way, they were all mad at me. She was mad at me for sending strippers. He was mad at me for sending strippers. My other brother thought it was... my brothers were living together at the time. My other brother, who was single, was just like, this is the greatest prank you have ever pulled. I was like, yes, it was a prank. I definitely did this just to fuck with you, and not entirely by accident. Because I just didn't ask, like... I just was like, it's an audition, cool. Although I can see a Comedy of Errors version of that where I go, oh, an audition, can I come? I want to be an actor. They're like, sure, why not? And that's how I ended up working at a strip. No. Anyways, we're already 33 minutes in. Hey, Atanchi. We haven't even started yet. Anyways. You what? I didn't do it. I didn't, nothing. I didn't say anything. I've said so many incriminating things on this stream. Oh, I've said so many incriminating things on this stream. You know what? Growing up in Vegas, Vegas is wild. Or it can be. I also know people who grew up in Vegas and were like, it was so boring, there was nothing to do. And I was like, should I tell the story about the police helicopter or not? Much lurk. Ooh, I like that. Much lurk. So, I should probably read the prompts that I have. So we've got Atanchi, who just said hello. We've got your prompt. Also, how are you doing? How are you doing today? It's getting dark here, so... My brain is telling me it's... Oh, I'm so tired. I'm fine. Had a room... Alright, had tacos. Nice. I had a roommate that used to be in Chippendales and another that was an escort. Both very nice people. I just had Wendy's today. I wanted something so, quick and easy. Oh, cool. Throw down a link. That's not really a ba-doom-tsh, but I needed to, like, specify that I was joking. But seriously, throw me a link. So, anyways, the prompts that we have... Don't throw me a link. See, I'm at the point in my life where, for the most part, my sense of humor has mellowed dramatically since I was kind of an edgelord teenager, but occasionally it pops up still, and then I have to sit there and go, By the way, Atanshi, I'm probably gonna be weird. I had surgery and am on pain meds. As if you're not already weird. I'm glad I amused myself. Oh, but yeah, I've grown out of being kind of an edgelord teenager, early 20-something, to just, like, occasionally those jokes will slip out. And then I just sit there and go, oh, fuck. I'm going to have to deal with the ramifications and consequences of my own dumbass humor. So, we have Atanshi's prompt. A vampire and their reincarnated love. Which, I don't know if anyone watches Jenny Nicholson videos on... I don't actually have it up anymore. Also, I don't think you can see the screen. Whatever. But she did a video about the Vampire Diaries, and... It's like 2.5 hours long. Never watched the Vampire Diaries, but I was like, it's a Jenny Nicholson video. I'll watch this. Let's see. Scarlet Fury gave us... We need a story about a girl trying to get her sweater back from the family cat. Tincture gave us dropped us a couple prompts last time. We got noir detective style story about a character stuck in a Home Depot. The dark secret of Canada is all their Mounties are actually weremoose. And he was stuck in a house for a year with only a box of sociopathic cereal to keep him fed. How will he reason with the grains in time to not starve? Only time will tell in the next thrilling episode of The Serial Killer. And then Scarlet Fury threw us, a judgmental ghost watches as the house's new owners renovate. Which is, I hope you realize, just the plot of Beetlejuice. But I like it. The list. It's a very strange collection of prompts. Oh, I didn't actually look. Did I update this? I think I did. Oh, shoot. Is it? Wait, have you never seen Beetlejuice? Scarlet Fury, have you never seen Beetlejuice? Scarlet Fury. I have, but it's been over a decade. Let me see if I can find a picture real fast. I wanna show you suddenly. Where? So this picture is my soon-to-be father-in-law. That is my fiance's dad. He does cosplay. And there's a picture, I don't know how to track it down, but there's a picture of him dressed as Beetlejuice, holding my fiance when she was a baby, and she's just sobbing. So. So actually, the way they met was he was working in a comic book shop, and her mom came in, and her mom came in and asked where she could find Superboy, And without missing a beat, he's right here. And they've been married ever since. Ever since that exact moment, they got just spontaneous marriage right then and there. No. Huh. That's terrible, but fantastic. I mean, to be completely honest, I can see Dune Harper having done that to you. I don't think it ever did, but I could just see it. Back in the day. 117. See, my thought on Dune Harper is... I mean, I can't really get past anything other than teenagers are dumb and we were teenagers. So, like, I don't think anything is off the table, to be completely honest. I can totally see... I mean... I'm sorry for anybody who's not Scarlet Fury right now. It's going to be one of those weird inside jokes, but it's... Do you remember the video of him and me where he had the underwear wrapped around his head? And he started referring to himself as the Gandhi of love? Like, let's not pretend that none of us... Well, okay, me and him did not have the dignity... You talk about... Yeah, so let's not pretend that the weird wasn't already there. And that as teenage boys, that we didn't fully know how to embrace it, and think that we were just the hottest shit. We were talking yesterday about how he would have no idea how to date anymore. Like, his flirting is very specialized to me, and I have never known how to flirt or be able to recognize flirting. You and me both, sister. Like, this is my brain is still thinking about it. I mean, we just celebrated our 7-year anniversary, and I still don't know how to show affection like a human. Like, oh, I really like her. She's great. She's pretty. I'm gonna whack her with a pillow. That'll show her that I like her. So. Also, I'm gonna be honest. Again, my brain is still on this train. Um, my train of thought is still boarding at the station. No, I swear I know more people who don't know or insist they don't know or can't recognize when people are flirting with them. So I'm kind of suspicious that people are really bad at telling when people are flirting. And the people who think that they're really good at it are just arrogant or cocky. It's gonna be one of those. Is there a specific fabric that sweaters are made of? How about those two? Okie dokie. You ready for this, Scarlet Fury? Because we're doing your cat prompt. So. Whoa. We're up to 6 viewers. Woo! Howdy y'all, howdy y'all. for anyone who I didn't get to say hello to before. Alright, so the prompt we got from Scarlet Fury in her pre-drug-addled post-surgery days was, we need a story about a girl trying to get her sweater back from the family cat. And here's what I did with that. Mom! Becca called as she glared at her unruly closet. Mom, do you know where my favorite sweater is? The tired and patronizing voice called back up the stairs. I'm sure I don't know which sweater is your favorite, dear. How? Becca asked her wall-length mirror, quiet enough that only she could hear. She only wore it on every first date. It was adorable and warm, and above all else, comfortable. First dates were awkward enough without making the mistake of wearing something impractical. She was looking for the business casual of sexy. She was looking for her cute blue sweater. Are you sure? She stepped out of her room. It's got the clouds on it. She stopped where she stood, her eyebrows bunching up. Their cat, Aloysius, was sauntering by the bottom of the stairs, wearing her favorite sweater. How? And it didn't matter. Mike would be here any minute, and she needed that sweater. Cat! She yelled. Meow? Aloysius responded as she charged down the stairs. Before she hit the landing, the cat tore off, short legs tangled in the folds of the sweater, their fuzzy head poking out the neck hole as she gave chase. Get back here, you stupid cat! The cat fumbled and tumbled around the corner into the kitchen as Becca skidded into the doorway. Mom! She yelled. But Mom had already scooped Aloysius up, sweater and all. Is this your favorite sweater? She asked, untangling the feline from its cotton burrito. Yes, Mom, thank you, thank you, thank you! Aloysius scampered out of the room. Don't thank me yet, Mom held up the sweater. It got dragged through the litter box. Becca stared at her favorite baby blue poop-smeared sweater, eyes wide, and screamed. Is it everything you hoped for, Scarlet Fury? Oh, we went from 6 viewers down to 4. Oh no. They did not like the story. So I don't know about anybody else, but I'm going to be honest. My favorite moment is just morale. I love anytime a story does that, or it's just an animal. I think it's usually a cat, kind of responding with that, like, what the fuck is about to happen? Before being like, nope, I'm out of here, kind of thing. So that turned out pretty well. Let's see. What else do we have? So, I have an idea. Scarlet Fury, this is maybe a bit of a lucky night for you, but I have an idea for this other prompt of yours. 118. Although, I am going to take one moment to run to use the restroom, and I will be right back. What is it that Coffee Quill says in her streams when she takes a bio break? Good beans in the chat, I think, is what she usually has to say. So, I will be right back. Boo! I'm back. All right. Well, I can't say you were good beans or bad beans in the chat, because you weren't really beans in the chat. What did I just hit? What are... Oh, okay. Wait, we got, These 10 renovation trends will be popular in 2020. Okay, we got... Surfaces will stay in the spotlight. Carpets, floors, paneling, and ceiling tilers account for the largest expenditures in a home renovation. Okay. Home wellness. Fuck off. I'm gonna end up with so many stupid things on social media just looking at this. Saving. This is terrible. None of this is good. Whoop. Three-tone kitchens. Oh, okay. So maybe this is a little closer to what I was looking for. We've got three-tone kitchens. We've got refaced cabinets. Okay. Blue cabinets. Okay. Wood. Good. A soft colored kitchen. Okay. 2019 is soft. I shouldn't mock shit that I don't really understand. Backsplashes? Okay, slabs. This is why I'm not allowed to do any of the, like, refurbishing and stuff. Countertops. Okay. I think that's enough of that. I'm good. I'm good. Oh, hey, we're up to 7 people. Like, oh shit, we're slowly creeping closer to double-digit viewership, and I don't know how to deal with this. I don't think anyone from that first stream is here, because I think that first stream was literally just my friend Little Druid, and so for a while there I was running with the joke of instead of saying the audience or the viewers or the chat, I would just say viewer, as in 1. And granted, there's only 6 more than 1, according to my dashboard, but still, slowly moving up in the world. Look out, ninja, here I come. Okay. What was that? Three-tone. So, here we stand. Alright. This is one of those stories I don't feel like I just need, like, I needed, like, one more line, but I couldn't figure out how to, like, make it all fit within the allotted space, so I did what I could, but let's jump in. So this was Scarlet Fury's drug-induced story prompt. Scarlet Fury is coming off of surgery. So, we have a judgmental ghost watches as the house's new owners renovate. And for anyone who popped in since I made the joke, I pointed out that this really reminds me of Beetlejuice. I did not go as hard. I did not go as hard as Beetlejuice did. But yeah, let's just jump into it. You ready for this, Scarlet Fury? You better be. Scarlet and Bethany watched as the Johnsons went to work. Dave, the gingerbread killer. Can the next chapter be about you shagging my arse? Scarlet and Bethany watched as the Johnsons went to work renovating their new house. They had a minimalist aesthetic and a soft three-tone paint scheme. I don't like it, Scarlet said with a huff, crossing her arms. You never like it when they redecorate, Bethany pointed out. Her friend did have a point, but Scarlet wasn't about to admit that. What about the Millers? They kept the warm tones, at least. And they were knick-knacky. You complained about their furniture and that they only liked pop culture knickknacks. So, Scarlet already had her arms crossed, so she tilted her head back. The furniture was secondhand and a mishmash, no cohesive style. At least they were good roommates. They're not your roommates, Scarlet. That's always your first mistake. You're their haunting. Scarlet shuddered. I hate that word. Classless. At least call them my neighbors. And neighbors you hate, Bethany said with a sigh. Setting the word aside, do you want to get rid of them? I know a guy. He owes me a favor, and hauntings are his thing. Scarlet stared at the Johnsons again, biting her lip. No. Then, do you intend to do it yourself? Bethany asked. Like, I've seen what you can do when you're feeling ectoplasmic. I just thought you'd want a third party, like a contractor. Scarlet sighed and glided over to the window. No, it's fine. I'll suffer until they leave. Scarlet, you always do this. I offer you solutions to problems and you waft away. Well, yes, but their taste is atrocious, but they don't... Wait. Well, yes, okay. Well, yes, their taste is atrocious, but they shouldn't be made to suffer for it. So what do you... Bethany paused, staring at a friend. Do you actually want advice, or do you just want to vent? Scarlet hadn't ever considered it that way. She hesitated. To vent? Oh, well then. Bethany adjusted her dress and leaned in. Just look at that lamp. So I'm going to throw this out there. Dave the Gingerbread Killer, Days Before Christmas, and Dropkick Cheese Stick. Not really my kind of humor. Not really what I think is funny in my chat. Sorry, guys. Cool. Please stop. So, I've totally had those girl talks. I tried. That's not terribly dissimilar to conversations I've had with Totes a Zombie, who hasn't been in the stream for a while. He was moving and he hasn't had Wi-Fi. So, you know. But no, we've definitely had the conversations of, do you want advice or do you want venting? So, tried to do that in a way that wasn't, I don't know, sexist. Like, I feel like we've all had those days where you just want to, like, talk shit on somebody or gossip. So, I am glad you liked it. But I think I am going to wrap this up for the night. And just call it there. So, the ones that start with, do you want me to try and help or be angry with you? Yeah, and I think we all, like, deserve to have those kinds of, like, places to process emotions. Because that's definitely a thing, like, as I've gotten older, of trying to deal with. I occasionally have, you know, I mean, fuck it. I was raised by two, like, hardcore Republicans, and sometimes things that I grew up, you know, beliefs or ideologies that I grew up with that I've kind of distanced myself from will still manifest in, like, an emotional way. And, you know, with my fiance, I'll just say, you know, I'm having this feeling. I know that it's just a feeling, and I know that it's coming from a very, you know, not logical place. And I'm given that space to kind of process it, and then I can just move on. So, all right. All right. Let me do something real fast. Okay. You're very welcome. Well, and some of my favorite verses, some of my favorite are kind of story moments are those moments where you get brought along on a character's emotional journey, even if you don't maybe agree with them, because you're going on this kind of, you've laid the groundwork, kind of, again, almost like, you know, there's kind of that safe space of expressing that emotion that you get to empathize with something that is, like, once all the characters are on the, you know, once both Scarlett and Bethany are on the same page of, like, oh, I'm just upset about something changing. It lets everybody kind of be on the same page, even if it's kind of silly, I guess. So, So, anyways. Sorry, I was trying to learn something new about how Twitch worked. Oh well. So, Scarlet Fury, I'm glad that you like the nice stories. I think I am going to kind of wrap this up, though. We did our 2 stories and learned a bit about how the chat works. And Scarlet Fury remains the MVP. The internet sucks sometimes. So, but hey, I think the stories turned out really well. Sorry, I kind of got in my head there for a second. But no, I really wanted to tell a story of, again, Totes Zombie and I have had this exact exchange of me venting and him going, well, you could do this, or you could do this, or you could do this, and then actually he will do the thing where he'll go, wait, do you just want, do you just want to vent, or do you just want to get it out there, or do you want solutions? And it's like, oh, actually, I think Dune Harper has done this with me as well. I love the fact that this is becoming more of a trend. So I just decided to try and do the same thing with the girls. And I want to tentatively take this moment. I saw a post floating around about, I think it was Tolkien, said, oh, I have so many screenshots. Oh, no. It's impossible to find anything. Maybe it's in downloads? Yeah, I found it was a screenshot of a Tumblr post, and it was, Tolkien later regretted he didn't have more females in The Lord of the Rings, claiming he didn't know how to write for them. Eowyn's crucial role in... And then it's another quote where it's talking about Douglas Adams explained why he stuck to the Smurfette principle in an interview. He wasn't comfortable writing female characters because he didn't understand women. And the OP says, imagine if female authors could get away with simply not having men in their novels because they don't understand them. And someone said, reblogging with the late night realization that I have to share the load of. Now, just to make things clear, I really like Lord of the Rings and I love Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy with the intensity of the surface of the sun, but what kills me, what utterly destroys me here, is the implication that the following characters were easier for these guys to understand and write for than a human woman, a walking, talking tree man, and a 2-headed alien president. And, I mean, I just saw this, like, yesterday. And it just hit me where I was like, wow. So, like, I try. I mean, I feel like you can only get so much mileage. I remember Neil Gaiman. I remember, I think I might have heard some fantasy author. It was George R. R. Martin or Patrick Rothfuss. Basically, just, I know Joss Whedon talked about this back in the days before. Back in the days before there were credible allegations of abuse and toxicity, and I mean, I'm speaking about the current ones. Then there's obviously he cheated on his wife for like over a decade, all of that. But I think there's something to be said about, like, well, how do you write women? And it's like, well, the way I would write anybody, In this particular case, you know, I don't normally go in and try and explain this, but the first thought that went through my mind is we've got this really weird house across the street that used to be a mortuary, and it's green, and some of there's like a big orange door, and some of it's orange and some of it's purple, and it's very homemade. And unfortunately, the couple who was living there, he passed away, and the house is up for sale, and my fiance has been just kind of depressed because we could hear when the realtors come by, they talk about, oh yeah, if you tear this down, you can put it in a parking lot, you can put apartments over here, and over here was the chicken coop. That's where they had chickens and gardens, and it was weird and different, and we kind of liked that. We once brought home their dog got out, and we brought it home many times, but they were like, oh, thank you, and they gave us a basket of fresh fruits and vegetables from their garden and homemade wine. And like, my fiance is deeply upset by the idea that people will buy the property and either renovate it to look just like everything else because that will sell the best, or just tear it down and put up more fucking apartments that also will look like everything else. Example, I don't have pictures of it, but in the old house I was living at, it used to belong to the professors on campus, or one of the professors on campus who was an art professor. And actually my bedroom was the old art studio, so it was a big open room. It was supposed to be a kitchen space in the basement, but they had kept it for the art studio. I turned it into a bedroom. But one of the bedrooms was for their kids, and because they were, a fucking art professor, they painted this walls, fucking the whole wall is just Disney characters and cartoon characters all interacting with each other, and it was gorgeous. And the landlord, every time somebody moved in and out of that room, he was like, I just want to paint it. And then the next person would be like, no, don't you fucking dare. And he never understood. He's like, why do you guys care so much? It's just Disney characters. And we're like, it's art. It's really nice. It's different. It has personality. Every fucking person who moved into that room wanted that room because it had personality. And I guarantee you when he told us he wasn't going to renew our lease and he was selling the house to like a rental agency because he got a job up in Canada, and then he deleted me off Facebook and gave us 2 weeks to move out. He gave us 30 days to move out, but he told us if we could be out in like 13 days, he would give us our deposit or like next month's rent back, or he'd refund us last month's rent. But like, the fact that he was like, well, we'll just paint it gray, white or gray or eggshell or whatever. And it was but it was like a green wall, and the paintings were all done in white line work. It was different. And so many things now are not, they want things to be the same and to have no personality. And so much is rent, and you can't change it because you're renting it. And they don't want to damage the possibility that the next person will buy it. There's my angry late stage capitalism rant. Point being, as I've completely derailed whatever I'm talking about, but nobody in the chat is stopping me. Point being, looking at this particular story, there wasn't anything difficult about imagining what it would be like to be like, I don't want you guys to change, and I don't like things changing. I kept, I had one of those childhoods where I kept bouncing around and moving, so the idea of like sitting still and getting to like make things a certain way, because jumping off of what I said before, I grew up renting places, and so I never, it wasn't until I got adopted at 16 that my adopted family was like, hey, what do you want to do with this? One of my brothers moved out. There was an empty room, and they were like, cool, what do you want to do with this room? And I was like, I don't have a clue what I want to do with this room. Like, I have no idea. So, like, because I never had that opportunity. I was 16 years old, and I didn't know what it meant to decorate a room for yourself. So, like, it wasn't hard for me to imagine, again, put dinosaurs all over the walls. I did. I mean, as many as I had, which was, like, 2. I still have, I still have this guy. He guard the closet. And, you know, now, at this point, I've got my fantasy art wall. So I've got, you know, I have the Marauders map from Hogwarts. Mixed feelings about Rowling and Harry Potter, but it's there. I've got Westeros, Middle-earth, the Four Corners from Pat Rothfuss's series. I have over here, that's The Land from Thomas Covenant by Stephen R. Donaldson. Critical Role. Adventure High with Brennan Lee Mulligan. And then up here is The Witcher 3 video game and a Silent Hill fan map. And plenty of other stuff I would love to do if I ever had the space and time. But, again, point being, I for this particular story at least, or at least when I try to write stories like this, it's weird to me when I hear things like Tolkien or Douglas Adams say things like, yeah, I just don't know how to write women. And it's like, I don't think they're actually that different. You know? Like, again, it's kind of a dangerous position to be in where it's like, I know I'm a straight, white, cis, male. And so I don't want to be too, like, cocky about it. But, like, I don't think it's that hard. I don't know. And, you know, continue to read these stories and let me know if there's ever a moment where it's just like, what the hell is he doing? You know? But, I don't know. There's my rant. There's my soapbox rant of, like, I don't think it's that hard. I will say this. If you go through and you look at my stories, you will notice that they are predominantly men protagonists, and almost exclusively a lot of the stories about women involve them dying at the end because it's a horror story. And also, they're very white. And I get that. I see it. I'm sorry. Like, that's one of those, like, I'm sure it's not as hard as it's, like, I get so nervous about doing that wrong. And I live in Utah. I don't have very many friends who aren't white. Just watch the energy just drip out of me. Just whoosh. So. But I will say that's what editors are for. That's what sensitivity readers are for. There is an entire community out there to help stories, you know, escape the unconscious biases of the authors. And, I mean, that's also one of the hard things about writing like this, where I'm live, I'm in front of an audience, I don't, as much of an audience as I have, but I don't have the opportunity to really sit down and go, okay, well, you know, can I do this in... What can I do to make this different? I kind of just have to go. Nope. There we go. Sorry. I don't know what was going on there. But it looks like your chat went down to 2 viewers. Oh no. My soapbox is driving them away. I will put dinosaurs all over the walls. Saw that. Just remember the raptor. Yep, that one. Still got him. I will say I was always impressed by Brent Weeks. He does excellent at writing women, such as our hormones affecting us at different times of the month, but not making them emotional train wrecks. That's just one example. But as a girl, it was nice to see. Most female writers I've read haven't even gotten it like he did. It is possible. Yeah. And that's also something, like, there's a Twitter called Men Write Women that is, it's just depressing. Like, I was gonna say it's horrifying, and it sometimes is, but, like, it's just depressing. It's a lot of, like, she boobed boobily down the boob, like, you know, and I'm really not exaggerating that much. It's fucking weird how many men writers, I guess just, like, I'm above the curve just by not talking about breasts all the time. But, sometimes I'll share things. It's like, actually, this was a woman, or, like, a woman wrote this, but it's still terrible. Somehow this woman author doesn't know biology or how it works. And that's depressing. So, I mean, we all just have a long way to go. And we're all trying. I'd like to think people are trying in good faith. You know, it's the best you can do. I'll say, you know, I mentioned the fact that, you know, that's what I've worked with freelance editors. I've never worked with a sensitivity editor, but I've thought about it because my last novel that I'm still working on, just kind of going through and doing some base edits before I tried to do another draft. I've considered trying to find a sensitivity reader because it is there's a lot in that book. Actually, one of my beta readers was just like, "Oh, you definitely you committed to trying to hit every single touchy subject," because there's one of the characters come from a lot of trauma, but specifically one of the characters is transgender. Probably comes from some of the least amount of trauma in the story, but I definitely want to find a transgender sensitivity reader just to be like, how'd I do? I'm straight and cis and white and all kinds of privilege, so there are steps you can take, and that's one of the things I try to also be aware of what I can and cannot do in a context like this stream, where I don't have the time, or I don't feel like I really have the time to go and do like super experimental stuff. So I try to stick with what I know, but that does end up creating a trend. So I will stop there. We're at 1 hour and 55 minutes, so I want to keep this under 2 hours, but I appreciate the good times in the chat that we had today. And I had a lot of fun with these stories, actually. And it was kind of nice to do things that are a little, you know, they're a little bit of a different tone that I've gotten to do for a while. So that was nice. The stories are nice. You guys are nice. I might be nice. I don't know. You'll have to let me know. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, maybe a bit earlier. Time was starting to get away from me. Unless, I don't know, does this time Dude, fucking share. Oh, okay. Oh, that was perfect, right? Like, come on, that's a bit. All right. No, I'm not gonna top anything. I'm not gonna top that. So, all right, guys, I'll be back tomorrow. Oh, you guys have a good night. That is all I have to say. That's all I have to write. No heroes in 2021, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Bye, guys.